past its prime. And a lot of what drives any design is you respond to those problems you perceive with your current facility. So in our case, all the circulation was carefully modeled on computers. It's wider, it's more comfortable volumetrically, it's well daylit than the current airport.
Now, the challenge for King and his design team, provide improvements in a structure that had to be built on an almost cigar-shaped piece of land in between 4 existing runways. The result? An almost mile-long terminal. And a first, an elevated indoor tram riding on a cushion of air.
We felt that bringing the tram out of its traditional position in the ground and actually placing it literally inside the building so you could see it and sort of gain that sense that, yes, there it is, and if I need to use it, if I'm in a panic, whatever, I know how to get up to it very simply, would be a huge step to making the traveling public feel very comfortable in the building.
One thing you won't see in this modern new building, any obvious references to the auto industry. In reflecting its spirit, they chose to focus on materials, not motors.
If you look at what we produced, it's sort of purposefully modern, and it's modern in a very international sense. It uses sort of quiet palette of materials, blondes and stainless steel and metalwork. We really looked at the way we expressed Detroit as a sense of craft, a wonderful tradition of high-quality labor and craftsmanship. And so throughout, the detailing is very nice, the materials are very lush, but as an aesthetic, it's not taking off on some idea of how an automobile might have been designed in the 50s. It's actually very much a part of modern airline travel.
Craftsmanship and convenience can be seen in all the details. Top-of-the-line Herman Miller chairs, polished granite countertops with shelves for your laptops, briefcases, or bags, Pewabic tile walls at the entrances of the 475 restrooms, and terrazzo tiled floors throughout.
The traveling public is going to be well served because the quality of the materials, granites, tiles, terrazzo, etc., are going to be very durable. One of the things in the back of our mind was designing a building that looked great in 10 or 15 years, not just in 1 year.
The centerpiece of the terminal, the 39-foot black granite water feature and the 45 illuminated streams depicting air travel.
I do a lot of traveling, and I sit there oftentimes, and when I've finished my book, I open up the local airline mag at the back of the seat in front of me, and you always see at the back of it an image of the world and these wonderful little route maps that connect various spots in the world. And I got to thinking that it would be really cool if we could represent the globe. And that's what the black granite disc is about. So it's actually softened to give you the illusion of roundness. And it has, if you look at it, stainless steel latitude and longitude described in it sort of abstractly. And then we went to a group in California called Wet Design and came up, we used their product, came with the idea of, with a laminar flow fountain, being able to describe the actual routes of the airplanes abstractly.
I also think people will start to think about Detroit in a different way, having gone through this. And I mean everything from the international travelers that come in and those that come in and just connect and move forward. Yeah, I think it's a very significant thing for our region.
I'll tell you what no airport has in the country, this in-terminal tram. So what does it take to become a world-class terminal? Well, Tampa, Pittsburgh, and Denver considered to be among the top 3. Free Press travel writer Jerry Vogeno traveled to all 3. And as we traveled through this facility, he zeroed in on 3 key areas, including the transportation section.
One of the first things you see, Jerry, when you're pulling up is this huge parking structure, almost tripling the parking spaces in the old place.
Absolutely, 11,500 spaces. And the good deal is that you come in, you're undercover, you park, you'll come up an elevator, whatever place you're on. You may have to walk 100 yards.
Because there are 10 stories.
10 stories. Get on one of these moving walkways. You'll come down here.
Carrying my luggage.
Carrying your luggage.
Or pulling it.
Or pulling it, right? There'll be an e-ticket machine here. You'll get not only an e-ticket, but a luggage tag.
All right.
That for routing your luggage. You will bring it right over here. There'll be a guy standing here, and he will put the luggage tag on your bag, put it on the belt. You haven't even gotten in the terminal yet, and your luggage is on its way, and you have got your ticket.
On our return trip, we picked up our luggage from one of the 18 carousels, Jerry, that supposedly gets our luggage there in 15 minutes' time, and here we are.
That's right. We've come across this bridge from picking up our luggage. We walk into the transportation center, and then everything gets pretty easy in terms of picking up your car. As we're walking here, you can see right here, and this is, you can pay for your parking right here. You can do it with a credit card, you can do it with cash. Simple, you don't have to deal with another human being. If you want to deal with a human being, there's a cashier over here, or like the old-fashioned way, before you leave the lot, you can pay a cashier as you go.
And wait in line.
Our second stop, the new sound and light tunnel that connects the main terminal with the commuter concourses.
All right, Jerry, here's another one of your must-see stops at the airport. How come?
Absolutely. I think people are going to be talking about this after they come to the airport. I think people are going to make special trips, even though they don't have to take regional flights, to come down this tunnel and see this light. In this construction phase, it looks a little like a bad LSD dream, but you can get a sense of the lights, and there's going to be a sound show that goes along with this. It's going to make this trip down this 900-foot passageway that we're walking down right now a whole lot more pleasant and a whole lot more interesting.
And the last stop is actually the first thing visitors will see after they pass through security checkpoints and look out onto the center of the terminal.
And Jerry, looking down at this view, you figure this kind of says it all between the old and the new?
Oh, it tells you a whole lot about this airport, and it's really a stunning view. You come into the airport, you get your tickets, you go through security, and this is the first time you get a real sense of how big this place is and how very different it is from the old place. You see shops, you see the tram beyond, you see the sign that explains whether you ought to get on the tram or not. Pretty good idea. And beyond that, the fountain. And it's pretty wonderful.
Now, stay with us. Coming up next, we talk with the man who had the vision and power to put this new terminal in place and a brand new way to get there.
This place is spectacular. It is lavish. I like to use that word when I do big productions. This is a lavish production here, and it's about time, as this city is gaining world-class status.
When the weather gets nasty, experience does matter. Watch Chief Meteorologist Jerry Hodak and the Doppler 7 Weather Team on Channel 7 Action News.
Wayne County is creating a world-class airport, making travel easier, safer, and more convenient, with a new road that will give visitors access from I-275 as well as I-94, a new 11,000 space parking structure, a new runway to reduce flight delays, and a new $1.2 billion state-of-the-art terminal with more than 100 new ticketing positions, a high-speed express tram, and dozens of great new shops and restaurants. It is a new day, and the new metro is on its way.
The Detroit Pistons are going to work. Wow, did he throw that baby down? Check out Jerry Stackhouse, Ben Wallace, and your Detroit Pistons as they battle the rest of the NBA. One of the NBA's hottest rivalries heats up when the Pistons take on Tracy McGrady and the Orlando Magic Friday night at the Palace. The first 3,000 fans get a Ben Wallace cornrows bobblehead. Tickets available at the Palace box office, all Ticketmasters, and Pistons.com.
Drive Volvo Cross Country.
For 15 years, the name Insta-Dry has been synonymous with quality basement waterproofing and foundation repair.
Insta-Dry. This Saturday, prepare to meet your maker. And a lot of others. Don't miss Demo Days at Carl's Golfland. It's the event you've been praying for.
Welcome back, everyone. And before we go any further, we should point out that while the McNamara Terminal is getting an awful lot of attention, there have been some other major developments as well.
Building a runway at a major airport in the United States is almost an impossible task today. So you have to have an appreciation for the remarkable accomplishment.
This past December, Metro Airport opened a new 10,000-foot runway. 4 left, 22 right. It's the only one in the nation to open last year. The addition makes Metro one of the only airports in the world with 4 parallel runways and the ability to operate 3 of them at the same time. That means less delay for travelers during takeoffs and landings and less taxi time to the gate.
As a result of the new 4th parallel runway,
Other than weather delays, in terms of capacity, we've improved our capacity by more than 25%.
The new runway will allow Northwest to increase its takeoffs and landings and may mean additional flights to more destinations in the future. But the runway wasn't the only project completed as part of this new metro airport.
We're standing on a roadway that is the best kept secret in metro airports' $2 billion capital improvement program. For the past decade, without much fanfare, we've been building this 4-mile-long, 6-lane-wide road right through the middle of one of the world's busiest airports all the time, keeping the facility 100% operational.
It was the largest concrete pour ever completed. This new road, now named John Dingell Drive, for the congressman who's been such a strong advocate of the new metro, will allow travelers to get to the airport off I-275 at Eureka Road, and is expected to reduce traffic off I-94 by 60%. It gives drivers a unique view of planes as it passes under 2 parallel runways.
The tunnel that we're in now actually passes under one of the crosswind runways. So this was something that had to be done while we continued to operate the airfield. This tunnel has tile on the walls and is ventilated by jet fans.
A new runway, a new road, 2 more steps toward creating a world-class airport.
I think that when you see it all, you will agree with me that you've got the finest airport in the world, bar none.
The new terminal, the new runway, the access roads. Probably none of it would have been possible without the determination of the former mayor of Livonia, Ed McNamara, who became Wayne County executive back in 1987.
You stand at the middle of the fountain here, and you got a half a mile of building that way and a half a mile of that way. And of course, this is the entrance point where people come.
Ed McNamara's vision 15 years ago came from the realization that up to 30 million people a year were going to pass through an airport designed for 10 million, and that the creation of a much bigger terminal wasn't going to happen overnight.
I don't think people fully realize how long it takes to do the design, to put the financing together. That was probably one of the most important things. And if it hadn't been for Congress giving us the right to levy a passenger fare charge, we probably would still be wondering how we were going to pay for it. But we're now in a position where all the bonds will be met, the payments on the bonds will be met, and in fact, we're looking to a very major reconstruction of the north terminals.
How big a battle? Because, what was it, 10 years from inception before the first shovel of dirt was turned there out at Metro. How difficult a convincing job did you have to sell that terminal?
Well, I think the business community bought it, and the communications community bought it. I think our main problem was to convince the legislature, to convince Congress that we needed help to make this happen.
What do you think will be going through your mind Sunday morning, 5:30 a.m., when that first flight takes off from the new McNamara terminal?
It probably will be that I'm having a hard time believing it. You know, when you work on something like this, it's like a day-to-day thing, and you run into the problems and you resolve the problems and you go on. And suddenly there's the light at the end of the tunnel, and the airport is completed and it's functioning, and of course we're going to have some problems. We know we'll have some problems. I know that, for instance, there's stories about the luggage being a problem. And talking to our construction people out there, we have as many as 9,000 pieces of luggage going through the process at one time, and in the old terminal, the most we ever had was 2,600. So we know that it functions much better than the old terminal, and we know that there are some glitches in this, but by 24th, I think they'll be worked out.
Isn't it exquisite? I mean, we're ahead of Chicago. We're ahead of the other airports that have opened before us.
It is phenomenal. You know, this is going to be the portal to Detroit, and it's going to make Detroit and the entrance to Detroit this world-class city. This is the beginning, the first step of the rest of the transformation.
When you first heard and when you first drove on the Dingell Drive, what was going through your mind?
That I had to drive across Dingell to get to Baxter Barrel.
Monday on Action News Investigation. Is something wrong with this picture? Kmart has filed for Chapter 11, but while the company nosedives, some big bosses are flying high. They even took a pricey private jet to bankruptcy court to tell a judge Kmart can't pay its bills. Bonuses, limos, luxury hotels. It may be legal, but is it right? You decide. The investigation everyone will be talking about. Monday on Action News at 5.
Want to take your minutes further?
Good.
Well, now you can.
Good.
Introducing America's Choice, the plan where all of your minutes are national minutes. Sign up on a plan starting at $35 monthly access and get an extra 3,000 national night and weekend minutes per month for life on the America's Choice Network.
Good.
And now save $50 to $100 on select Motorola phones. So make the smart choice and sign up for America's Choice.
Can you hear me now? Good.
Verizon Wireless. We never stop working for you.
Life made that much better with the boost of an available 247 horsepower turbo, the handling of a sports sedan, and a long list of safety features any parent would love. The Volvo V70. It'll change the way you feel driving a family car.
You know, there comes a time in everybody's life when patience is a virtue. However, since you've only got a little time left to score a great deal at Joe Ritchie Dodge's Giant Savings Event, this ain't one of those times. So if you want to save money on your next car or truck, you're just gonna have to move.
Right, Coach, a 2002 Stratus, over $5,000 in discounts and rebates. Net to lease, only $13,265, $229 a month.
Joe Ritchie Dodge. Dodge deals are in Dearborn.
Hello again, everyone. And as you can tell behind me, there's still some partying going on before the official opening of the McNamara Terminal early on Sunday morning. And we've had an opportunity to show you some of the amenities passengers will experience here. But what about the economic impact for the southeastern portion of the state? Well, there are some who suggest it could be up to $5 billion.
We know that the state of Michigan is one of the largest trading states in this country, with states like California, Texas, and New York. To the extent that this new terminal will open up new business opportunities for a growing state like Michigan, I think will have worldwide impact.
It's estimated that the new metro airport will help generate more than 80,000 new jobs in the region. According to analyst David Sowerby, its economic impact will be greater than projects like Comerica Park or the new Ford Field.
When you look at how Detroit has to compete every day with some major Midwest cities, Chicago, Columbus, Cleveland, Milwaukee, Indianapolis, compared to the last 5 or 10 years, this project, more than just about any other, I think gives us a leg up on the competition.
We're the only airport in the United States that flies to the capital of China, to Beijing, who is now becoming one of the great trading partners of the world. So this means that if somebody in Atlanta has a business that wants to do business with Beijing, China, or Shanghai, because we go there also, they better move to the Detroit area. They better come up here and establish a business and hire people and be prepared to operate, because their time in getting to China becomes considerably reduced.
Now, in the past 2 years, 21 new projects valued at more than $300 million have begun around the airport, all part of a development strategy that centers around land just south of the new airport.
We have some 1,300 acres down there that will be used for putting in new factories, new offices, hotels. Most of that land we presently control. The state has now become our partner because they realize the value, economic value of that development. The addition to this airport is the greatest economic generator this state has ever seen, past or future.
Well, that's going to about do it for our insider's guide to the new Metro Airport. Here's a tip, by the way, just one of many that we'll try to pass along. Make sure after Sunday you're not arriving at the old Davie Terminal. This is the spot to stop now, the new McNamara Terminal. And by the way, there is a new way to get here. It's off 275, and for those of you coming from the south or for the north, you'll want to get off at the Eureka Road exit, and you're going to find that you're going to get here faster. The parking, 11,500 spaces, all covered. That's going to keep you nice and cozy as well. Very family friendly as well. You know, they've got over 200 more bathrooms here than the old Davie Terminal, 4 places for the kids to play as well, and 17 restrooms for the entire family. It'll be unlike anything you've ever experienced here in Detroit when it comes to taking off. Taking off in style is what this has been all about. The official opening comes Sunday morning. The next time you fly out of Detroit, you're in for a wonderful experience. So enjoy it.
WXYZ-7 salutes Black History Month. Here are highlights of events happening in Metro Detroit. History is on display at the